Around 1910, the decline of the militant nationalists and the rise of revolutionary activities marked an important shift from the non-violent methods to violent action. It also meant a shift from the mass-based action to elite response to the British rule. In Bengal, revolutionary terrorism had developed even earlier. Around the 1870s, when the Akharas or gymnasiums were set up in various places to develop what Swami Vivekananda described as strong muscles and nerves of steel. BhakimChandaChatterjee'snovel novel Anandmath also had significant impact. Anandmath was widely read by the revolutionaries in Bengal. The BandeMataram song, which is part of the novel, became the anthem of the Swadeshi movement. During Swadeshi movement, three factors contributed to the upsurge in the individual acts of violence. Apolitical constructive programs had little acceptance among the youth who was growing impatient under the repressive foreign rule. The failure of the militant nationalists to lead the young people into a long-term mass movement also contributed to the growth of individual action. The revolution action was part of an effort to symbolic recovery of Indian manhood challenged by British. The revolutionary actions were mostly attempts to assassinate specific British officers. Alipur bomb case in Bengal. The story of revolutionary terrorism begins in 1902 with the formation of many secret societies. Most notably of them was National Samiti of Calcutta, founded by Jatindranath Banerjee and Barinder Kumar Ghosh, brother of Aurobindo Ghosh. Similarly, the Dhaka Anishan Samiti was born in 1906 through the initiative of Pulin Behari Das. This was followed by the launch of the revolutionary weekly Yugantar. The Calcutta Anishan Samiti soon started its activities, and the first Swadeshi Dacoity to raise funds was organized in Rampur in August 1906. In the same year, Hemachandra Kanungo went abroad to get military training in Paris. After his return to India in 1908, he established a bomb factory along with a religious school at a garden house in Maniktala. In the same garden house, young inmates went in various forms of physical training, reading classic Hindu texts and reading literature on revolutionary movement across the world. A conspiracy was hatched there to kill Douglas Kingford, notorious for his cruel ways to dealing with Swadeshi agitators. Two young revolutionaries, 18-year-old Khudiram Bose and 19-year-old Prafulla Chakki, were entrusted with the task of carrying out the killing. On 30th April 1908, they mistakenly threw a bomb on a carriage that, instead of killing Kingsford, killed the two English women. Prafulla Chakki committed suicide and Khudiram Bose was arrested and hanged for the murder. Aurobindo Bose, along with his brother Barinder Kumar Bose and 35 other comrades, were arrested. The Chandran Das took up the case, which came to be known as Talipur bomb case. The judgment observed that there was no evidence to show that Aurobindo Ghosh was involved in any conspiracy against the British rule. Ghosh was acquitted of all the charges. Barindra Kumar Ghosh and Ullaskar Dutt were given the death penalty, later committed to transportation for life, with the rest being condemned to transportation for life. The year-long hearing of Alipur bomb case was made a great impact and portrayed the nationalist revolutionaries as heroes to general public. After his acquittal, Aurobindo Ghosh took a spiritual path and shifted his base to Pondicherry, where he stayed until his death in 1950. The idea of bringing an armed revolution envisaged by Aurobindo Ghosh never materialized. In December 1998, the Minto-Morley constitutional reforms were announced. The moderates welcomed the reforms, however, they soon realized that there was hardly any shift of power. In fact, the measures taken by Minto were highly as it institutionalized communal electoralism. threats creating Hindu-Muslim divide. Besides this, the colonial government also introduced threats and repressive acts such as the Newspaper Incitement Offence Act 1908. This act empowered the magistrate to confiscate press property which published objectionable material, making it difficult to publish anything critical of British rule. Indian Press Act 1910 made it mandatory for publishers and printers to deposit security that could be seized in case they printed obnoxious material. The Indian Criminal Law Amendment Act allowed summary trials and also imposed the prohibition of association dangerous to the public peace. The Swadeshi movement in Tamil Nadu, notably in Tirunelveli district, generated a lot of attention and support. While the Swadeshi movement in Tamil Nadu had an all-India flavor, where collective anger against the British rule remaining the common thread, it was also underpinned by Tamil pride and consciousness. There was a deep divide in the Tamil Nadu Congress between moderates and extremists. Swadeshi movements meetings at the Marina Beach in Madras were regular site. The Noor Market complex in Madras was another venue utilized for such gatherings. During the period 1905 to 1907, there are police reports calling students dangerous and their activities as seditious. Europeans in public places were greeted by the students with shouts of BandeMataram. In 1907, Bipin Chandra Pal came to Madras. These features of the Madras beach electrified the audience and won new converts to the nationalist cause. The Swadeshi movement in Tamil Nadu came to be known in national attention in 1906 when V.O. Chidambaram mooted the idea of launching Swadeshi venture to challenge the monopoly of the British navigation through the coast. In 1906, VOC registered a joint stock company called the Swadeshi Steam Navigation Company with a capital of 10 lakh divided into 40,000 shares of rupees 25 each. The shares were open only to Indian Ceylonese and other nationals and other Asian nationals. COC purchased two steam ships, SS Gali and SS Laoe. When in other parts of India, the response was to Swadeshi was limited to uh, symbolic gestures, to making candles and bangles. The the idea of forging a Swadeshi steam navigation company was really spectacular. VOC invoked the rich history of the region and the maritime glory of India's past and used it as a reference point to galvanize the public opinion in favor of a Swadeshi venture in the sea. The initiative of VOC was lauded by the national leaders Lokmanya Tilak, who wrote about the success of the Swadeshi navigation company in newspapers Kesari and Maharata. Aurobindo Ghosh also launched the Swadeshi efforts and helped to promote the sale of shares of the company. The major shareholders included Pandit Durai and Hajir Fakir Muhammad. The initial response of the British administration was to ignore Swadeshi movement as patronage for the Swadeshi company increased. The European officials exhibited blatant bias and racial partiality against the Swadeshi steamship.